Legends say Superman is unbreakable, but in the cold silence of the South Pole, even legends can bleed. The film opens with Superman falling from the sky. His body is broken after a brutal battle. He had tried to stop the army of Borovia from invading a smaller nation called Charanbur, but now he lies helpless in the snow, his strength nearly gone. Barely able to move, he whistles. A white dog rushes toward him, Krypto, his loyal companion. Superman whispers for him to take him home. Krypto pulls him across the ice toward a hidden entrance beneath the ground. The Fortress of Solitude, a place that only opens for Superman. The doors part and they step inside. At once, robotic guardians rush to him, lifting his wounded body and carrying him deeper into the fortress. As they work, a hologram begins to play. It's his real parents from Krypton. They speak with love, telling him how much he means to them, how they sent him to Earth to save him from the same fate that destroyed their world, how he is their only hope. But suddenly, the message cuts off. The rest of it lost forever on its journey through space. The robots continue their scan. His body is shattered, 14 bones broken, countless injuries. They place him under direct sunlight, the only power that can heal him. Slowly, his strength returns. Superman rises again, but not fully. The robots warn he's only 80% healed. They beg him to rest, but he shakes his head. The world doesn't have time to wait. With fire in his eyes, he takes off, flying back toward the battle. Meanwhile, somewhere else, we see a figure watching the skies. A shapeshifter named Angela. She's been searching for him, unable to track him down. Until now. Superman streaks past her, soaring back into the fight. Angela's eyes widen. She reports to her commander. He's alive, and he's heading back to war. And then we see a strange creature tearing through the city. Its name is Hammer Prophia, the same being who once faced Superman and somehow defeated him. Right after, we shift to a man named Luthor. His hatred for Superman runs deep, and now we learn the truth. Hammer wasn't born by chance. Luthor created him, designed for one purpose only, to destroy Superman. At that moment, Superman returns. He throws himself into a new battle against Hammer. But in the chaos, something becomes clear. Luthor is controlling Hammer, feeding him codes to trigger precise, deadly attacks. Every move, every strike, all calculated in advance. Hammer overpowers Superman. He hurls him down with crushing force, slamming him into the earth. And then we discover how Luthor pulled this off. For years, he studied every detail of Superman's fighting style until he built Hammer, programmed to predict and counter every move with ease. Meanwhile, Superman lies broken on the ground. A man from the crowd steps forward, trying to help. He tells him, "You've saved us so many times before. Now, it's our turn to save you." But when Superman struggles to stand, his body won't respond. The people gather, their hearts heavy, their sympathy pouring out for their fallen hero. At that same time, Luthor learns the name of the man who dared to help Superman, Malik. And then Angela reaches out, revealing that she has found the location of the Fortress of Solitude. But the moment she gets close, the entire fortress vanishes, swallowed beneath the earth. Luthor's voice cuts in, ordering her to return to him immediately. The next day, we see Clark, Superman, on his way to work. By day, he's just a reporter. As he enters the building, a policeman reads a newspaper aloud, an article about Hammer and the destruction he left behind. And then we realize the article was written by Clark himself, right after his fight with the creature. Inside, Clark gets a call from his adoptive parents. They congratulate him. His article has gone viral, making headlines everywhere. Not long after, Lois shows up. She starts asking about Hammer, about the chaos still shaking the city. Then their friend Jimmy joins them, explaining the damage costs have already passed 20 million. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, Luthor gathers some of the most powerful people in the country. He showcases his army, super soldiers like Hammer, Angela, and squads of deadly robots called the Raptors. He pushes them to invest, twisting Superman's image, claiming he's the real danger to the planet. But they resist. They remind him that Superman has saved them countless times before, and that people still love him. Still, Luthor doesn't back down. In his eyes, Superman is the true threat. Later that night, Lois returns home, only to find Clark waiting for her. They sit down. Speaking more about Hammer and the destruction he caused, Clark asks her to do an exclusive interview with him. He wants his own voice recorded, broadcast directly to the people. She agrees. The questions begin. Lois presses him about the wave of media attacks, pointing out that even the U.S. Secretary of Defense has opened an investigation into Borovia. Clark explains. During Borovia's invasion of Churinpur, he stepped in. He stopped the war without bloodshed. He even confronted Borovia's president face to face, warning him if he tried another invasion, Superman would take him and his entire army down. But Clark admits something else. He senses Borovia is planning something darker. Then Lois asks the question no one dares. Did you get permission before flying into their airspace? Clark shakes his head. No, he went on his own because lives were in danger. But that decision left people questioning him. They whisper, he's not human, not one of them. Frustrated, Clark snaps. He tells her he doesn't care what anyone thinks. The only thing that matters is saving lives. After a long pause, his voice softens. He tells her the truth, how his parents sent him to Earth as a baby, moments before his world was destroyed. How his mission has always been to serve humanity, to make Earth better, to fulfill the purpose his real family gave him. But Lois pushes back. She says many still believe he's here for another reason, that his real plan is to conquer Earth. Her words cut deep. Clark loses his temper, ending the interview. Lois, hurt and angry, tells him if he keeps shutting her out, she can't stay in this relationship. And Clark, devastated, walks away. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Luthor and his team reach the South Pole. Their target? The Fortress of Solitude. They want proof. Anything that can destroy Superman's image before the world. And strangely, as Luthor approaches, the massive doors open on their own. No resistance, no warning. They storm inside, wiping out everyone in their way with terrifying ease. But then, Krypto appears. The loyal dog attacks Angela, forcing her back. Yet she fights with precision, covering his face with a strange substance from her own body, trapping him. With Krypto down, Luthor gives the order. Angela connects to the Kryptonian device that holds Superman's family message. Her body releases that same substance, merging with the system, breaking its defenses. And suddenly, the long-hidden message plays. A message Superman's parents sent with him from a dying world. The recording is damaged, but Angela works quickly, repairing it piece by piece. Moments later, the full message is restored, now in Luthor's hands. We cut back to the city. Luthor's men carry a sealed box. Inside, a strange creature. Luthor commands them to unleash it in the streets, a distraction to keep Superman occupied while he raids the fortress. They obey. And by the next morning, the creature has grown massive. It tears through the city, fire erupting from its mouth, crushing everything in its path. Superman arrives just in time, saving Krypto before the beast strikes him down. He launches a fierce attack, striking with all his might. But the monster is stronger, much stronger. Its fire spreads, buildings collapse, and people run in terror. Superman pushes harder, but every blow feels useless. Still, he fights to protect as many lives as he can, and then help arrives. Out of the chaos, 3 heroes appear: Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and Mr. Terrific. The Justice League. They join the battle. Green Lantern forges an unbreakable ring of light, trapping the beast. Hawkgirl dives in, striking hard, forcing it back. Superman focuses on saving civilians, pulling them from the flames. And Mr. Terrific plants bombs inside the creature's body, detonating them from within. The explosion shakes the city. The beast collapses. And after a brutal fight, the Justice League stands victorious. And then, screens everywhere flicker. Breaking news. Superman, Luthor appears live, smiling coldly, broadcasting what he claims is the full message from Superman's parents. The second part reveals a chilling truth. Humans are weak, foolish, and Superman was sent here not to protect them, but to rule them. The world is shaken. Crowds erupt. Their hero suddenly feels like a stranger, maybe even a threat. And when Superman walks inside, stunned, Green Lantern and the team corner him. Is it true? He nods slowly. The first part, yes, but I never heard the rest. The recording was corrupted. But Mr. Terrific cuts in. The experts confirmed it. The message is real. It can't be faked. Superman's eyes blaze with shock. How did Luthor even get it? He doesn't wait for an answer. He bolts, faster than sound, straight to the Fortress of Solitude. But it's in ruins. Shattered ice, broken walls, and one robot still barely functioning. Superman demands answers. How did Luthor get inside? But the machine only shakes its head. It tried to defend the fortress and failed. Then Superman notices Krypto is gone. He storms into Luthor's headquarters. Where is he? Where's Krypto? Luthor smirks, playing innocent. I don't know what you're talking about. Superman leaves furious. But elsewhere, world leaders are gathering, arguing if Superman has become the planet's greatest danger. The president of Borovia even steps on live TV, claiming Superman invaded his country, tried to manipulate their war for hidden reasons. And when he returns to his office, he opens a secret passage leading straight to Luthor. At first, the president accuses him of forging the message, but Luthor leans closer, eyes cold. It's real. Superman is no savior. He's a criminal, and we have to destroy him, whatever it takes. And after that, we see Superman at Lois's place. Superman takes a deep breath. The message they showed. It's not true. I only ever heard the first part. My parents never sent me here to rule this world. They sent me to protect it, to protect its people. Lois steps closer, her voice firm. I believe you, and you can prove it. Show them who you really are. But he shakes his head. No, the only way to save Krypto is to surrender. I promised I'd protect him. I won't break that promise. The next day, Superman gives himself up. Luthor's soldiers take him to a secret desert base, where a time gate opens, pulling them into a parallel universe. There, Luthor greets him with a cruel smile. This prison, I built it myself. And you're not alone. Meet Rex. A creature steps forward, its body shifting like liquid. Luthor orders him to transform his arm into solid kryptonite. Rex hesitates, but Luthor has his son locked away and threatens to kill him. Rex obeys. Superman collapses as the green glow drains his strength. In the same cell, he sees Krypto, caged and weak. And not just Krypto, dozens of others, prisoners of Luthor. Meanwhile, back on Earth, news breaks. Borovia has invaded Chornobor. Just one day after Superman's capture, Lois digs deeper into Luthor Corp. She discovers shipments of weapons to Borovia, sold at impossibly low prices. Something isn't right. At the same time, Jimmy meets Eve, Luthor's lover. Infatuated with Jimmy, she spills everything she knows. That's when Jimmy learns the truth. Superman is trapped in a parallel world, a prison designed by Luthor himself. Jimmy rushes to Lois with the news, and back to Superman. He leans closer to Max, his voice calm but urgent. If you move that kryptonite, I can save your son. We can all escape. But Max shakes his head, eyes burning with mistrust. Stop talking to me. I don't believe you. The next day, Luthor arrives at the prison alongside the president of Borovia. With them is Malik, the warrior who once tried to help Superman against Hammer. Now, Luthor twists the knife. He threatens Superman, answer every question, or watch Malik die. Superman stays silent, and Luthor pulls the trigger. Malik falls dead before their eyes. Max breaks. Superman too. Both of them cry in rage and grief. Meanwhile, Lois reaches the Justice League. She pleads for help, insisting Clark isn't a criminal, that everything Luthor said is a lie. But Green Lantern doesn't believe her. Hawkgirl turns away too. Defeated, Lois leaves, her hope slipping. That's when Mr. Terrific steps forward. I believe you, and I'll help. They board his craft and head straight for Luthor's military base. Terrific uses a tracking chip to lock onto Superman's location. But armed soldiers stand guard, warning them to turn back or die. Terrific ignores them. The soldiers attack. In an instant, his shield snaps up around Lois. Energy flares as he cuts through the troops with terrifying ease. Lois stares, stunned by his power. At last, they reach the temporal gate. Terrific studies its strange glow, his face tense. This place is dangerous. We shouldn't enter. But Lois refuses to step back. No, we're going in. Terrific takes a breath, ready to push deeper into the unknown. And we're back to Max. He looks Superman straight in the eye. Can you really save my son? Clark nods firmly. Yes. That's all Max needs. He hides the kryptonite and channels the power of the sun. The energy surges back into Superman's body, strength flooding his veins. In a flash, he lifts off, breaks free, and rescues Max's boy. But there's no time to rest. Clark smashes Krypton's bindings and searches for a way out of the prison. Suddenly, Luthor's soldiers storm in. Gunfire, chaos. Superman, Max, and the child are driven into a raging river. Clark fights to keep the boy safe, even as the current drags him toward a black hole tearing open in the water. Max cuts down the soldiers and dives for his son, just as Superman is about to be crushed by the void. With one last burst of breath, Clark unleashes a gale from his lungs, pushing them free. Together, they escape the abyss. At that same moment, Mr. Terrific and Lois break into the prison. They reach Superman at the final second, pulling him out before the collapsing gate destroys everything. But Clark's body is poisoned. Kryptonite burns in his blood. Terrific warns him, "You need rest, or it'll kill you." He hands Lois his ship. "Taken somewhere safe, I'll hold the base." Max and his son slip away into the night. Lois carries Superman home, to the farm of his adoptive parents. They embrace him, relieved he's still alive. Meanwhile, Jimmy gets a call from Eve. She claims she has everything on Luthor and sends him the files. But when Jimmy opens them, they're only photos. Strange photos of Eve herself. Confused, he forwards them to Lois, and Lois realizes the truth. They're not simple pictures. They're blueprints. Every one of Luthor's plans, captured in secret. Now she knows everything. She confronts Luthor. He already knows Superman escaped. His fury boils. He rushes to repair the shattered portal and succeeds. Terrific tries to stop him, but fails. The ground trembles. A massive crack splits the earth. The gate expands outward, ripping reality apart. The next morning, Superman wakes up, looking stronger. He steps outside, sits with his adoptive father, but his eyes carry a heavy sadness, the message from his real parents still echoing in his mind. They sent him here, not to protect Earth, but to conquer it. The truth cuts deep. His father places a hand on his shoulder. "You're not guilty of their choices. Parents don't decide who we are. They only guide us. You shape your own path. And I'm proud of you, Clark. You're a good man." Superman takes a breath. The weight on his chest eases. Then his mother rushes out. "Clark, come quickly! The news!" The screen shows chaos. War between Borovia and Choranpur. And in the middle of the smoke, a child raises Superman's symbol, shouting his name. Crowds join him, voices rising in desperate hope. The world is watching, even the Justice League. At the same time, Mr. Terrific reaches Clark. "There's a massive crack in the earth. If it spreads, it'll destroy everything. I need you." Meanwhile, Lois and Jimmy are with their editor. They reveal Luthor's secret deal with Borovia's president, fueling war only to distract Superman. The files from Eve confirm it all. Detailed blueprints exposing every part of Luthor's plan. Finally, proof to bring him down. But Terrific is struggling. The crack keeps expanding, faster and faster. Buildings collapse, the streets drown in chaos. Police rush to evacuate citizens, but the ground won't stop splitting. A skyscraper leans, seconds from crushing a bridge packed with people. Screams fill the air, until a shadow streaks across the sky. Superman. He catches the building in time, lifting it away before it kills thousands. The world looks up. Their hero is back. And then Mr. Terrific arrives, his voice urgent. The only code that can seal the crack is with Luthor. Before Superman can move, Hammer attacks. Angela lunges at Terrific, striking so hard he collapses unconscious. Now both Hammer and Angela turn on Superman. At first, he holds the upper hand, but Luthor tightens control over Hammer, forcing blow after blow. Angela joins in, striking Superman with a venomous attack. A toxic fluid spreads from her body into his, flooding his lungs. On Luthor's monitors, the readings spike. Superman is dying. Gasping for air, he rockets into the sky, desperate to expel the poison. But Angela and Hammer pursue him, relentless, tearing into him until the toxin takes over his body completely. Superman falters. His strength fades. He's seconds from death. And then he dives. A furious drop from the heavens, hitting the ground with such force it kills Angela instantly. Luthor screams in rage. The poison loses its grip. Superman forces it from his body, alive. But Hammer rises again. He removes his mask. Superman freezes. It's his own face staring back. A duplicate. The truth crashes in. This is how Luthor broke into the Fortress of Solitude. Hammer isn't just a weapon. He's a clone made from Superman's DNA. A strand of hair lost in an old battle, twisted into a living copy. And Luthor's cruelty doesn't stop there. They uncover his orders. Borovia's president was commanded to invade Choranpur, to slaughter its children. At that very moment, tanks roll in. The streets of Choranpur tremble under the weight of war. The people are seconds away from massacre. Above them, Hammer's eyes glow. Guided by Luthor, he unleashes a deadly beam straight at Superman. On the battlefield, Borovia's army unleashes fire on the people. Massacre begins. Superman's flag falls to the ground, a symbol of defeat. Hammer stands over him victorious. But in that final breath, Superman gathers everything he has left. He rises. A brutal strike. Hammer crashes down. This time, Superman wins. The Justice League has arrived. With them, Max, the man who once shared a cell with Superman. Together, they tear through the weapons and Borovia's army with ease. The president tries to flee, but Hawkgirl swoops down, seizes him, and ends it with a single deadly drop. Now Mr. Terrific leads Superman to Luthor's ship. The crack is consuming the planet. They must shut it down. Inside, Luthor seethes with hatred. You're not one of them. You're an alien. You'll never belong. Superman roars back. I feel. I fear. I love. I make mistakes. I'm no different from any human. As his words echo, Krypto leaps, tearing into Luthor. And in that chaos, Terrific seizes the chance. He shuts down the device. The crack collapses. The Earth is saved. News explodes worldwide. Lois and Jimmy expose Luthor's alliance with Borovia. His plot to destroy Superman, his lies, his crimes, broadcast everywhere. The world apologizes. The police arrive. Luthor is taken away in chains. In Choranpur, the people cheer the Justice League, their saviors. Max stands among them, a new ally. And finally, in the restored Fortress of Solitude, Superman finds peace. He watches his old memories, at last resting. And with that, our story ends.